2 hours ago, the most alarming statement to emerge from any American president in recent memory landed on global markets like a precision-guided munition. In a live interview with NBC News, President Donald Trump, speaking with the casual confidence of a man who believes the outcome of a conflict is already decided, looked directly into the camera and described the potential destruction of Iran's primary oil export facility as something his administration might do for entertainment. He said, regarding the Kharg Island facility, the United States might strike it again, and he added 5 words that stopped the world, just for fun. To understand why this statement sent shockwaves through every corner of the global economy, within minutes of it airing, you need to understand what Kharg Island actually is. Located in the northern Persian Gulf, roughly 25 kilometers off the coast of Iran's Bushehr province, Kharg Island is not simply an oil terminal. It is the singular economic lifeline of the Iranian state. Nearly 90% of Iran's crude oil export capacity flows through the infrastructure concentrated on that island. The loading jetties, the storage tanks, the subsea pipelines connecting to the mainland fields, the pumping stations, the processing facilities, everything that transforms Iran's underground reserves into the foreign currency that funds the Iranian government, its military, its social programs, and its regional network runs through Kharg. If you wanted to design a single point of failure for the entire Iranian economy, you could not engineer something more complete than what already exists on that island. In the NBC interview, Trump confirmed that American strikes had already targeted the island and characterized the military infrastructure there as largely destroyed. He described significant degradation of the integrated air defense emplacements, radar arrays, and Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps naval coordination infrastructure present on and around the facility. These are the systems that would be used to threaten commercial shipping in the Persian Gulf, which is the mechanism through which Iran projects economic pressure outward. But here is the critical distinction Trump himself drew. And here is why those 5 words caused the reaction they caused. He said the oil infrastructure, the actual loading terminals, the export jetties, the storage and processing facilities that constitute the commercial heart of the island, has not been touched. Not yet. And then he said those words. Maybe we'll hit it again, just for fun. The implications of striking Kharg's oil infrastructure are categorically different from striking its military installations. Military strikes against IRGC assets and air defense systems are, however controversial, within the framework of targeted action with a defined strategic rationale. The destruction of Kharg Island's oil export infrastructure is something else entirely. It is the economic decapitation of a nation-state of 90 million people. It would not merely damage the Iranian government's revenue, it would, in a matter of weeks, collapse the financial architecture of the Iranian state. Currency reserves would drain, import capacity for food and medicine would evaporate, and the global consequences would not be confined to Tehran. Iran currently exports somewhere between 1.5 and 1.8 million barrels of crude oil per day, the majority flowing to Chinese refineries. If Kharg disappears, that supply disappears instantly, with no available short-term replacement at current global production levels. Brent crude would react not with the incremental adjustments of a market absorbing a manageable disruption, but with the violent repricing of a market confronting the possibility that a fundamental structural assumption about global oil supply has just been invalidated. Beyond the market mechanics, Trump's statement also contained a direct rejection of Iranian overtures toward a negotiated agreement. He confirmed that Iran has communicated a desire to reach some form of deal, but described the terms as not good enough. He provided no framework, no roadmap, no indication of which specific Iranian commitments would satisfy the American position. What he provided instead was a description of the current Iranian leadership that will make any formal diplomatic communication between the two governments essentially impossible in the near term. He called them, using language now broadcast in Farsi across Iranian state media, deranged scumbags. The diplomatic consequences are not trivial. Iranian hardliners, who have argued for years that engagement with Washington is a trap, now have a direct presidential quote to validate their position. Moderate Iranian voices who quietly argued that some form of engagement might serve Iranian interests have been handed a gift to their opponents. The space for back-channel communication that has historically preceded every significant diplomatic breakthrough between adversaries has been dramatically narrowed by a statement made in a live television interview with no apparent strategic communication calculus behind it. In the Strait of Hormuz, through which passes the vast majority of the oil produced by Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar, in addition to Iran, maritime traffic is already operating under elevated alert conditions. Insurance premiums for vessels transiting the strait have been rising for weeks. The IRGC Navy has not yet conducted any overt closure action, but the combination of active American strikes on Iranian territory and a presidential statement suggesting further strikes might happen recreationally has not reduced the probability of Iranian retaliation through maritime disruption. The economic cost of even a partial disruption of Hormuz traffic would be measured not in billions, but in trillions. European allies who have spent the period since Trump's return to office trying to maintain functional coordination with Washington on Iranian policy are now confronting a statement that makes that coordination substantially more difficult. The EU's foreign policy apparatus was not consulted before the NBC interview. NATO's Secretary General was not briefed, and Republican senators with energy-producing states in their constituencies are already receiving calls from industry executives doing arithmetic they do not like. What is certain as of this moment is that the phrase "just for fun" has entered the permanent record of this conflict. It will be cited in Iranian state media for years. It will appear in briefing materials of every government in the Middle East for as long as this crisis continues. And it will be remembered by every energy market participant who watched Brent crude move on the back of 5 words as a reminder that in geopolitics, as in physics, every action produces a reaction, and the reactions do not always take the form the original actor anticipated. Washington wanted clarity through strength. What it delivered instead was the most destabilizing 5-word sentence spoken about the global energy system in a generation. The Middle East is not calmer tonight than it was this morning. It is measurably closer to the edge,